What's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and let's get into this one really quickly. Now, guys, we're talking about Danny Swift Garcia and Keith one-time Thurman. Now, you guys know Danny Garcia is coming off of a big win this past weekend. He made his debut at 154 pounds, super welterweight division, and he took on Jose Benavidez Jr., and he won a majority decision in that fight. That fight, Danny Garcia looked excellent in that fight, guys. He put on a boxing clinic, in my opinion, and even though he had been out of the ring for like 19 months, he looked like he didn't have any ring rust. I thought he looked better than he did ever looked at 147 pounds, using his boxing skills as opposed to just trying to get the big knockout. He played it smart, he played it safe, and he just looked good doing it, in my opinion. I think he'll do good things at 154 pounds. But Tony Harrison, who is the former WBC super welterweight champion, was being interviewed during the fight, and he said that Danny Garcia is a fight that he would like to have. Now, they asked Danny about this during the in-ring interview after the fight. Danny said that he'll fight anybody at 154, but two guys in particular he was looking to face. He called out Erislandy Lara, which was a surprise to me because I know Lara moved up to 160, and as a matter of fact, I think Lara is a WBA regular champion at 160. And one that didn't surprise me was when he called out Keith one-time Thurman to run it back, but he wanted to run it back at 154 pounds. And you guys know that was Danny Garcia's first loss, so I'm sure that's something he really wants to avenge. And Keith one-time Thurman responded pretty quickly, and I want to read what he had to say here on his Twitter page, guys. I guess his inner MC came out, and he put it in a little rhyme, so I'm going to read it to you guys real quick. So Keith Thurman says, "I'm too pretty, I'm too blessed, DSG can never pass the Keith Thurman test. I beat that boy with bone spurs. I wasn't even at my best. Man, my IQ is even higher. His feet are slow like a flat tire. This is not a game, it's not Street Fighter, but I will hit you with that yoga fire." All right, so that's Keith Thurman being an MC, Emcee Keith Thurman, and he's pretty much saying in a nutshell, he's open to running it back with Danny Garcia at 154 pounds, and I think this is something both of these fighters need. I think Danny needs it for closure, being that that was his first loss, and Keith Thurman really needs a fight. He needs a big fight, and I think this is the biggest fight he can get right now, because let's face it, even though the WBC moved him up in the rankings at the top of the WBC, Errol Spence Jr. is not going to give Keith Thurman an opportunity. And a lot of that's Keith Thurman's fault, because when Keith Thurman was the top dog at 147, when he was holding the WBA and the WBC titles, and Errol was trying to get a fight with him, he kept swerving Errol. And now that the tables are turned and he's on the outside looking in, Errol's just not going to give him an opportunity. And we all know that Keith doesn't really want to fight Boots. Boots is dangerous, high risk, low reward, so he's not looking at that. His best option right now is Danny Garcia, and I think this is a fight that people will actually pay to see, these two running it back, and especially how well Danny looked in his past fight. I thought Danny just looked great in that fight. I was impressed with Danny Garcia, just watching him in the fight this past weekend and watching how he was in the fight with Errol Spence Jr. He looked light years better than he did in that fight with Errol, in my opinion. So, but you guys tell me what you think. Do you think in this fight Danny Garcia might have the upper hand this time, even though he lost the first fight? Is this something that you'll pay to see? I think I would pay to see this, because you know, even though Keith Thurman's, you know, hasn't been very active, I think he's still a good fighter. I think he just needs an opportunity to mix it up again. He didn't look that great in his last fight with Mario Barrios. You guys know Mario Barrios came up from 140. That was his, I think, debut at 147. I did go watch that fight with Mario Barrios and Gervonta Tank Davis, and we know Gervonta Tank Davis got Mario Barrios out of there. Keith Thurman didn't, but that's probably due to lack of activity on Keith Thurman's part. So hopefully this fight can be made. I'm sure it can. Both of these guys are on the same platform. It would be quite interesting to me. But you guys tell me what you think about Keith Thurman's rapping skills, and tell me who you got if this fight does happen. Let me know in the comment section, guys. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.